Hola a todos, estoy muy feliz de estar aquí. Gracias por la invitación también. Voy a hablar en inglés porque I'm more fluent in English. So I'm going to continue a bit in the same way of manual. I'm going to talk to you about an alphabet from Africa. So I'm going to talk to you about the Banun writing system that is born 100 years ago in Cameroon, in the West region, in the Banun Kingdom. So this is a community called Banun, mainly in Fumban city, which is just here. Cameroon is a country that counts more than 240 languages spoken. And so it's a bit the same problem that in Mexico. But imagine that at the end of the 19th century, the Cameroon, as all the countries in sub-Saharan Africa, have a really strong oral culture. So at this time there is no writing, it's only oral. The King Enjoya, which ruled the Banun Kingdom, gonna discover the book thanks to some settler from the north of Africa that were receiving the Quran. And by this, thanks to the book, he also gonna discover the writing concept. He's gonna quickly understand the importance of it as economical, societal, and cultural factor. The story tells that he had a dream one night and he saw an angel that told him to create an alphabet for his people. So the morning he woke up and he gathered all his intellectual court and he ordered them to create an alphabet for his people. Legend true or not, the first alphabet is born in 1896 and it's called Lewa. Lewa means book in the Banun language. As you can see, it's really beautiful and also really complex. There is 510 signs that are mostly pictographic and ideographic. It's going to be 6 different evolutions from this first alphabet. And every time it's going to be a bit simplified. Here, for instance, the second version has 437 signs. I think you hear me more there. It's better. The third version with 381 signs. The fourth version with less and less signs. And the fifth one here with 200 signs. As you can see, in the evolution they get more simple, they take out some signs, and also they are getting more and more abstract. Here in 1910, we have a big change, because the alphabet is becoming a syllabary alphabet. So they abandon this pictographic and ideographic alphabet to come up with each character that represents one syllable or one phoneme. The alphabet name is coming from the first letters, A, Ya, U, and U. And here in 1918 is the ultimate version. In the linguistic level, it doesn't change, but you can see that the signs are way more abstract. What's supposed that the signs are the characters are completely are completely signs, and they are not related to any symbolic as it used to be in the previous versions. So the evolution is really incredible, because in just 22 years you can see like a real evolution in the linguistic level and also in the drawing level. It's comparable to our writing system that took slightly more time. And Well, this was in sub-Saharan Africa. One at this time, the only system that was that permitted the development of a dynamic literature, and that permit also, yeah, the redaction of major works for the kingdom. Well, today the language is still spoken in the Bamboo Kingdom. There is 300,000 people that speak it, but unfortunately it's not writing friendly anymore because of the French colonization. Well, the people there use the Latin alphabet to transcribe their own native languages. And there's obviously some problems with the tonals and, well, like in Mexico, obviously. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about the structure of this alphabet. There is 80 signs that are mainly syllables and phonemes. To that you add punctuation, algebraic symbols, 2 accents that can be added to any letters there. In total we obtain 175 different sonorities. With this alphabet I can basically write all your names here. So it's also viable for all languages. The numbers from 0 to 9, you can see that those signs are also there. So there is 10 characters that are both used for numerals and for syllable. And a specific sign called Njamli. The Njamli is, how can I explain it? They don't have the same concept that we have with capitals and lowercase. So to distinguish a proper noun, for instance, or to highlight a word, you put the Njamli behind the word. This alphabet is in the Unicode Consortium, but it was digitalized one time only by a crew of anthropologists from the US. Well, it's graphically really bad made, and there is some sign missing. So this is the contextualization. To talk about my project, I started to work on this alphabet 2 years ago. I obtained a grant from Belgium at this time, when I was staying there, and I went to Cameroon to see what was happening. I met the right people, and actually there are still people that are writing and reading it. A few minority, but it still exists, and they are fighting for its distribution. So I mainly work with Iriso Njoya, who is a specialist of the Bamboo alphabet and the Bamboo writing system. And I'm gonna now present you all my research, my type design research, because it was really large. I worked in tight collaboration with him and other people all the time. I went several times to Cameroon, and I was also working from Belgium, but always in communication. It was really a ping-pong game. So here is the first digitalization I did before going to Cameroon the first time. It's a geometrical sans serif font. Obviously, this was a way to discover a bit the shape, the spacing, and to apprehend the alphabet now. Well, I went there, and there was a lot of mistakes, because I took my sources from the internet and it was not right. So I got corrected, and I could come back home with an accurate version and work with it. Then I questioned the gestural idea of the letter, the ductus, because the Bangun writing system is before everything hecho a mano. So it was a way to go through the mechanism of the cursive and manuscript letter. Then I went deeper in this sense, and I experiment about the speed of the writing. That is a process that brings ligature. So this is Word. I worked in words, and as I told you, I was always asking to the local people if it was readable or if it was accurate. Here, for instance, they told me it was really readable. Then I went to the UK, in London, to the British Library, which is a huge library in London. And they have this program that's called Engendered Archive. This is a program really interesting because they collect all the missing script of the world. They have a lot of archive, and the Bangun alphabet has a lot of written archive. So most of them are in Cameroon, in Fungan, but there is some in London. So I worked with archive in the goal to understand better the Bangun in a special context, in an objective context. I studied the writing of people. So here I digitalized, for instance, a manuscript letter, where you can see that the writing is really controlled, mastered, where it's fluid, it's fast, and characteristic is a bit like lengthened on the right side. Here, a second example, on the contrary, is not controlled at all. You can see the break, the hesitation, the slide of the writer, and this work was a way to understand what I can do and what I cannot do. Because when you work on a writing system that you don't master, that you don't speak, or that you don't know, you are even more careful about what you are doing, because you know you can bring mistake in your work, and this is really important. So you dig and you dig more deeper to understand and you do a meticulous study of each science and all the story of the alphabet. So I went back to Cameroon for a couple of months, just before moving to Mexico actually, and there I was in the goal to do the final project. So I started with a workshop of writing with the local people. So we wrote a lot, we communicated about problems with science, with some figure case, and I gave also conferences there with Dr. Enjoya. So we could also explain to the Bangun people that they are not all aware of their patrimony. So it was also a way to explain them that this heritage that they have is also really important and culturally important for their community. This is the last font I did. It's called Njum, because Njum in the Bangun alphabet means dream, and it's like where everything begins. So the goal was to create a practical font for some revision of translation of old text Bangun. So yeah, it's also important to say that in Cameroon, both main official language are French and English. So I had to do a bilingual font. And no other problems come, because how to do a bilingual harmonious font between two structures completely different. I'm going to show you some board correction. I love the correction boards. I think it's really beautiful, and it's also you can see how I work. I work a lot by drawing, so with brush, with plumes, with pencil, whatever, and also a lot with what do you say? This paper that is transparent. I forgot the name in English. So I started to draw the balloon. Obviously, I have a what do you say? A Latin approach of the letter. It's how I learned type design, and I didn't want it to copy past Latin aesthetic on the balloon structure. So I started with the balloon. I wanted to impregnate the font with some manuscript gesture as well, but it has to be structured for some labor text. Then I continue with the Latin, and I use the influence of my previous work with the balloon to put it in the Latin, so it was in the other way around. Here, Romina, if you see me, thank you for the correction. So here's a sample of the balloon, and here a sample of the Latin. To talk a bit about the characteristic, the balloon is in the cap height of the Latin. The width is completely different between the two alphabets. The Latin one is way more wide and white, so I had to balance a bit the contrast to make like a, how do you say, a similarish gray in the labor text. I also invert the contrast vertically between the two fonts because I wanted to talk about the duality of the culture, and you can see here with some similar forms that the contrasts are inverted. And to talk a bit about the details, well, the dots are the same, easy. The vertical bar are also similar, horizontal as well. The exit, the diagonal bend exit as well. This is the touch of the cursive. Here as well, the same, those kind of curves that are represented more in the band more obviously, and in the Latin are like some details and some letters. The big curves that are not completely spheric, but more, yeah, like a gestural that you can find also in the Latin, in some details, and in the same pattern, the big ample curves. Here is the whole family, the Njum Bangun and the Njum Latin. Well, it was also, I wanted to say that it was also, during those 2 years of work, a big ethical question of the position I had in this project. Because it's more than a Thai family, it's talking about history, about ethical question, and about colonization. So how can I say? I was really, like, the main point for me was to work in collaboration with people there. And I know, after talking with them, that they needed that front, and that people were not, like, they couldn't do it there, or they didn't have the skills. So they were really happy someone comes up with this project. And finally, I wanted also to add a set of thin bats in the glyphs. because there is really important. You can see the ornaments in the traditional bamboo drawing frames. You can see also the ornaments in the walls of the bamboo palace, which is a picture I took just a few months ago, and also in the architecture with this beautiful serpent-like snake and the spider. This is the Museum of Finland. It's completely crazy. So they symbolic from animals and from vegetables, and each symbol have a story, have a weight, really important. So I work with an artist to select them and to create a set of leaf, which is not finished at the moment. But here are some borders of research. I also did a book about this project, which is kind of a mix between a logbook that explains all the processes, all the interview, all the story, all the people I meet, and which is also a specimen that explains a bit what I show you in more developed. If you want to take a look, I have it in my bag. And no, well, I didn't release it yet because I need someone to help me to develop a keyboard, always the same problem, to be able to write it, because with a standard keyboard it's impossible. And then I would like that it appears like an accessible tool, and I will release it open license, obviously. And I think it's also to the local population to use it and to modify it if it's necessary. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.